By the time Pegorino was introduced, the way his life was at the time became something he refused to let go, after all that took for him to get there. Coming up, he had to see how his father ran the family that led him to give him his own ideas when it came time to run things himself. But even with that, the energy he had to strive in the criminal underworld is what made him go into a panic-like state to get what he felt was due to him, especially with the change going on in this type of life in New Alderney. Even the things he did to stay afloat for the time being even shows us his ways as far as getting what he seen fit by any means necessary. A lot of the money that was coming in was forced, for the fact alone things was took from other people for them to get ahead. Things like Ray trying to steal diamonds and getting the split from being involved with the McCreary's became the norm in the organization you could say he built from the time he had the opportunity. Him moving like that even rubbed off on his own soldiers and the people working for him when it came down to the diamonds.
Doris, baby. We'll be our own bosses.
Luca, I need that ice back.
I don't know what you're talking about, Nicky. I gave every one of those diamonds to Ray.
Now, we all know that that's not true.
Fuck you, you cabbage-eating prick. Who says it weren't you that made off with him? That's what I'm telling Ray.
The game's up, boys. We're out of here. You and me, we could go to Ventura's. No one's ever gonna find us. You gotta make a play for yourself. Jesus! You can have tuna and Johnny's cut. Come on! Ray ain't gonna give you shit for helping him out, Nicky. We'll split the ice. You'll be a rich man, Nicky.
The closest to know about Pegorino, as we know, was the Lost MC before their chapter was destroyed by Pegorino and his crew. Johnny was warned to stay far away, knowing Pegorino can bring problems if they were to go against him, by his close friend at the time.
Johnny, what's this I hear about you getting caught up with the Mafia?
Yeah, well, Ash, she introduced me to this guy.
That the same Ash you ain't seeing no more? The Ashley Butler who's too tweaked to know what's good for her?
That Ashley, sure.
Man, oh man, what women can do to us. Don't get in over your head, Johnny. That mobster is cold as all hell. Look after yourself, man.
Always. You too, man. You too.
Johnny wouldn't listen though, sadly becoming the example of what he's about.
Hey, what do you got?
Got all the money the diamonds can buy.
You mean all Ray's money?
Fuck Ray, man. Fuck all of them here.
Yeah, fuck them. I guess we're rich then.
Hold on to it, brother.
You bet your balls on it.
Stealing from Ray Pacino was stealing from Pegorino, unbeknownst to Johnny. He might have lived for a while to tell the story, but again, everything around him became destroyed playing like that.
Johnny. Hey.
Hey. We had fun here.
Yeah, we did. But it's over.
But what this showed how other families outside of his area didn't want to associate themselves for the fact alone of his recklessness. It wasn't fully them taking this thing as a joke, but more on the lines of what he had going on not being traditional and seeing how Pegorino is only out for himself, being that everyone else is out for themselves. But with Pegorino being blind to the other families already having their mind made up, firsthand we seen this problem when he meets with Nico. He tried to show his power, something he does from this point forward, even giving Nico a threat, giving him an ultimatum, on top of saying it won't be him to do it to him.
So, you here to work for him, shoot him, or arrest him? Or maybe all three?
It's okay, Mrs. B. I'll deal with this.
Yeah, I'm in a life-threatening situation and I'm having a conversation here. He could have killed me. You're useless. Organized crime, my ass. With guys like you, no wonder this organization is doing so wonderfully.
You, Nick? Come on. Peg.
What?
Someone for you.
Oh, yeah. So, were you followed?
I don't think so.
Ah.
I mean, who knows?
Exactly. I mean, we can pretty much guarantee you were followed. The question is, did you know about it? And right now, I don't know the answer to that question. But to be honest, I don't really care neither. I know enough about you, your cousin, your friends. I know a lot of people around you end up in jail.
Some maybe.
But that's the same all over town. This is a dying game.
I don't understand.
I mean, I'm gonna ask you to deal with a problem. And you're gonna deal with it. Or you're not gonna deal with it, and you're gonna be a problem that somebody else has to deal with. But me?
I ain't doing nothing.
Yes, okay. So what's the problem?
We'll get to that.
That being shown, he's then forced to speak in reality, revealing his end goal, which was of course to get on the commission. Again, with the family's not having that though.
Anthony, get in here!
Boss?
Where's Big Pete and Marco?
On their way.
Listen to me. Here's what the plan is. Me and two of my guys gonna meet with a couple of boys from the Pegorino family. I need these guys if we're ever gonna be taken serious.
But him feeling he wasn't being took serious reveals why his actions are what they are, to try and get validation from the things he basically stole to again get ahead. He then goes to say how the Pegorinos haven't gave him respect in the past, but this was him feeling that's what he deserved from them. He would of course take it to be that for the fact alone he's overvaluing his organization.
You know, get on the commission. Now the thing is, these guys ain't, shall we say, shown us the appropriate respect in the past. I want you to run security. Keep an eye on things, because they won't be looking out for you.
Then just like before, every time he shows his goal and outlook on how he wants things to go, reality hits him in the most telling way possible.
Ah, here they are. It's either them or the cops.
It's them. They're outside. Looks like Ray's here too.
I know it's them. I'll be out in a minute. Look after Ray till I get back.
Hey, Tone.
Hey, Ray.
I need to speak with
Hey,
Pegorino.
what are you doing? He's busy.
Hey, Nico. Oh, boss, salve.
Ray doing this was him trying to show respect, no doubt. But Pegorino didn't want that from his organization, if that makes sense. He knew he had his soldiers behind him, willing to do what Ray did, but he wanted more, and knew what Ray was doing wasn't even needed, which is why his response was this.
Get up.
Ray then gives him a tribute that takes his mind off things, showing all you had to do to keep him happy. But on the way to the Pegorinos meet, he's seen of course playing his role, even seen taking pride into doing this deal, especially with him doing the Pegorinos a favor before this meeting, thinking this can help him.
You best hope you made a good first impression on Nico, boys. He's gonna be the one looking out for you during this meet. Well, he's being paid to look out for me, so saving you guys' asses would be overtime.
That's just if the shit goes down, right, boss? The Pegorinos wouldn't fuck with you.
Wake up, you fucking mook! Everybody's trying to fuck everybody. We're just hoping they got the manners to smile to our faces before they do it.
You giving them a nice little offering, though, Skip. They ain't gonna turn up their noses at that.
God, give me strength! It's like I'm dealing with children here. No wonder I ain't on a commission when my muscle is this stupid.
If the Pegorinos is a Liberty City family, what are they doing coming out to Alderney for this meet?
I let them operate out here from time to time. Pegorinos work a little shy business on this side of the West River. They also control a few bookies. I don't mind them taking a bite. I don't even make them give me a taste. Hopefully they're gonna respect that when it comes time to asking them for a favor.
You can't be too confident if you've got me here.
Your insurance. I'm the captain of this ship because I look at every possibility. Check to make sure my ass is covered in each situation. I think about what's gonna happen if this guy screws me, if this one turns states, and so on.
That's why you're the boss, boss.
Shut up! Jesus, you're worse than my mother. I'm like a fucking chess player. You're covering me for 6 moves ahead when me and the Pegorinos is just putting our first pawns out there on a checkerboard.
Ah, I like what you did there, Skip. Real clever.
Can you do me a favor? Can you just shoot yourself to save me the trouble of doing it? Can you, Marco? Jesus!
The diamonds was also a thing that was brought up, but them trying to steal them from another family on the commission, we see him only care for the fact he wanted something done to Tony Prince, only caring for the fact things didn't go his way.
What the fuck is up with them diamonds?
I don't know. I was just doing what Ray told me to.
I didn't get where I am by believing what every schmuck told me. You ain't the type of guy to follow orders if they ain't in your interest.
You're a smart guy, Skipper.
Shut up, Pete. I'm surprised you can even speak when your lips are always puckered up kissing my ass.
Ray was helping me out with something, so I helped him with the diamonds. I ain't gonna do shit for him no more. I don't like the way he does business. Things got too complicated.
Damn right they did. That ice was a real fuck-up. Ray didn't go through the correct channels. Guy who owned the diamonds, Gay Tony, is in with the enchiladas.
A lot of people said those diamonds were theirs.
Tell me about it.
But I don't give a shit about them other people. What I'm worried about is our involvement with getting back to Gay Tony and his connections.
It's then revealed why he feels getting on the commission was important to him in the first place, going back to everything he felt he built and the time it took. It also starts to show this been a dream for him to be able to even be in these type of rooms with these people, even down to his father in the process. All starting by a soldier Pete after he implied that it took long enough, making him snap, showing his insecurity about not being in the mix, even after wiping out the Lost, on top of hearing this from someone he saw beneath him.
We got a lot riding on this meeting with the Pavanos. Want to keep relations sweet with at least one of the families that got a seat on the commission.
You're gonna get a seat on that commission real soon, ain't you, boss? About time, Alderney got some representation in the city.
Don't tell me what's due to me. I've been waiting for this and working hard for this for years. Alderney weren't nothing without me. My old man, God rest his soul, didn't have the balls to bring the family to the level I got it to. I'm gonna get that seat because of what I done. Sit down next to John Gravelli if he survives that long, and run all of Liberty City. The whole country, maybe.
Keep in mind, the reason he felt he belonged with the commission was the same reason he never had that opportunity. He even acknowledged things wasn't the same while still having his hopes up regarding this deal.
The Pavanos, are they gonna offer you a seat then?
They can't give me a seat, but they can help me get one. Ain't nobody been given a seat since the commission got founded. Shit. But times has changed. Since Rico, the commission ain't the same. They need a family with a new approach to be sitting down with them. I got a nice little offering to the Pavanos that's gonna persuade them to argue my case. Something real classy. Real nice. Can't wait to see the look on their faces.
To Pegorino's surprise though, the deal turned out to be a setup to get him out the way without having to play his game. Realizing the Pavanos' attack, he still didn't understand he's the only one that cared, something Nico even called out.
The fucking Pavanos! If the rest of the commission knew they did this!
I'm sure the whole city will be up in arms.
The motherfuckers trying to whack me at a sit-down!
But this is when his pride kicks in, even going to say how it's war after all this happening. He even shown offense after revealing he wasn't even talking to a high-ranking member at this meeting, confirming what the commission thinks of him.
They're trying to make off with my tribute! The fucking nerve! Alright, let's get these slime ball bastards! People like that give Italians a bad name! Whatever happened to the honored society and all that shit?
Can't say I know!
They didn't even send a fucking capo! This is a declaration of war! The Pegorinos and the Pavanos are hitting the mattresses! You heard it here first!
The things he did for his family, he still realized he fell short, being that obviously his name wasn't taken serious when it came to Liberty City politics. He even brings up his wife, revealing she was against his thirst to be involved, showing on his end how he failed to prove someone wrong, something that of course never sat well for him.
My wife Angie's gonna love this. She keeps busting my balls about trying to get on a commission. Ask me why it matters. Women just don't understand this life of ours. Shit, sometimes I wish she'd just run off with some other guy. Leave me in peace.
After saying that, he had to cope with himself by revealing he's cheating anyway to at least feel like someone, even if the Pavanos or his wife didn't see it.
You can't be serious.
It ain't like she's my only woman. I got a nice little gumaz set up in an apartment in Acton. That little harlot keeps me young. I'll tell you that. Sometimes I feel like I'm having a heart attack with that girl.
Yeah, but a wife is a wife. I guess it's like with my cousin. He puts me in so much shit, gets us into debt and in some heavy shit with people, but, he's family. I wouldn't have him any other way.
That's some real sweet shit. You're bringing a tear to my eye.
And it wouldn't stop until Nico drops him off. Pete and Marco died behind this meeting, but stuck on himself, he brushed it off, putting things back on him. He even starts to show his impulsive ways after he revealed how he even had soldiers working for him in the first place.
Too bad about Marco and Pete.
Marco and Pete? Oh yeah, those guys didn't make it, did they? Well, too fucking bad. They knew what they were signed on for. Weren't complaining on the way out, were they? No, they weren't. Happy to be on board with the skipper.
Yeah, well, they seemed like good kids.
Ah, these kids come and go. It ain't worth paying attention to them until they prove they can survive. I just move on and hire some wannabe wise guys off the street. I only start paying attention to my crew when they start putting me in an awkward position. Either because they know too much in my rat, or because they got too much power and they're too smart to get themselves clipped.
Getting Pegorino back home after all that, Nico later calls Roman to touch base, of course, bringing Pegorino up. to when we see Nico be on the fence about him. Keep in mind this whole encounter with Pegorino consisted of him trying to show his power, not really seeing everything else yet.
Nico, there you are. Tell me what's happening in the exciting world of the gun for a hire.
Maybe if you give me tales of a womanizing gambling addict.
That's a low blow, and B. Seriously, what are you up to at the moment?
I've been working for Jimmy Pegorino, the head of that Alderney Guido family.
Yeah, the head of the family. Is he a big-time gangster like in the movies, then?
Wants to be. Keeps talking about being powerful. About getting on the commission with the 5 big families. I just hope he's got enough power to be able to find Darko Brevich for me.
And that alone, as we know, was why Nico entertained him. The next time he lends his hand, he runs it to his wife, to when she confirms his ways to Nico.
Who you waving at?
Feds, I think. They always drive past at this time.
Does that worry you?
When you marry a dragon, you gotta expect a few knights are gonna turn up to try to slay him. Jackasses. All of them, all of you.
Nice talking with
Whatever.
you.
But that aside though, Pegorino would continue to try and hurt the Preposterous after what took place. He acts one way in front of Anthony, his bodyguard, but he's about to be seen closing the door so his panic won't be heard.
Anthony, will you shut up? In fact, will you fuck off? Go on, get out of here. Don't come back till you get a brain implant or something.
I'm sorry. I'm
Nice to see you, Nico.
You too.
I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. First up, can you kill this shithead?
Sure.
Second, come in here.
Ah, fuck.
So, listen, we got a bit of a problem with the Preposterous.
Yes, I noticed that at your meeting with them.
The way they look at us, we're bottom feeders. Always have been. We ain't a real family to them, just a bunch of Guernsey Goombas. When things are cool, we're getting fucked.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Sure.
And by his response, you could tell he's sorry to hear that as well, which is why he takes things personal, of course. He then tells Nico what he wants, to when him panicking and being desperate to show his power is confirmed.
Listen, some of their boys are in town today. Gonna collect their piece of an Alderney bookie ring. Where it is, they're at the diner in Acta. Find them and follow them to the meet. You disrupt it, and I'll let you keep the money. But make sure you hit the Preposterous real hard! Capiche?
Yeah, capiche.
Showing here it wasn't about the money, but more for the fact to get at them, shows he was just trying to prove. Nico going to do what he was told, the soldiers of the Preposterous even hit things on the nail.
I think that guy works for the Pegorinos. God, they must be desperate. Let's lose him on the way to the meet.
After this, Nico calls him to let him know he did the job. But during this, he was looking for tribute, although he told Nico he can keep what he gets. He thinks at this point he had Nico where he wanted him, like people around him, not realizing again, he's the only one who thinks the criminal underworld owes him something.
I got that stuff, Jimmy.
Well done, my boy. I hope you made him suffer. Teach him that Alderney is Pegorino turf. Was there a nice little haul in it for you?
All right.
Well, maybe you'll give me a little tasting. Hand something up the ladder. That's how us Italians been doing things for centuries.
Good thing I'm not Italian.
At this point, Pegorino no longer had intentions to get on the commission, again, which is why he was sorry, after this was his big dream for so long. But this being the case, he still continued to kick up dust, even going to rip off another family, that being the Ancelottis. He already disliked them after the diamonds, but even with this shows him thinking and moving too fast, having Nico and Phil take their coat shipment 3 days earlier than what they came to an understanding about.
Phil! Phil!
What do you want?
Mr. Boss, said you gotta head down the docks. Emergency. Said you'd understand.
Ah, shit, it's 3 days early. Madonna mia, what am I gonna do?
He knows Phil will understand. For the fact alone, he knows how far Pegorino will go to make something for his own sake. Phil himself will also imply something once it's done, something Pegorino didn't have, which was to be able to keep his head, something he knew as well.
You handled yourself real good back there. Kept your head. That's a valuable trait. Thank you. See you later.
The stunts he was pulling and had pulled, the commission was well aware. Drancavelli even shows he knew how Pegorino felt when he met Nico, along with of course looking down at him.
Someone here to see you. So you're the one who's getting involved with that nonsense for my dear friend James Pegorino.
I don't know what you're...
Spare me, please. I'm an old man. Our mutual friend told me everything. Thank you. It made me...
My pleasure.
People are so damn vain.
Some people.
All people. Even you, even me, an old man facing the end. And I still care. Care how I look. Care that when I shit myself, the pretty nurse has to clean it up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you know...
And I care about my legacy. I've worked hard for this line of work.
And it started to rub off on Nico. Little Jacob even calls him, saying how he looked at the Pegorinos. That showed Nico's attitude about him at this point as well.
Nico, how's it going? Me here, you be working for the Alderney boys, the Pegorinos.
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers, man.
See, Nico, the mafia dancing with Algonquin. The maskers over there in Alderney.
That's the impression I'm beginning to get.
All that Nico's been doing for Pegorino, he goes out his way to keep him close, for the fact he's really the only one around him that's been saving him.
Nico, my man, how's it going? How you like working for those Guidos?
I don't think I like it any better than you and your brother do. We gotta make a living though, don't we?
Yeah? Well, I think you're doing too good for him. I got a call from Ray saying Jimmy P wants to keep you close. They're setting you up with a pad in Alderney.
A place of my own, eh? If they paid me enough and helped me find the man I'm after, I'd sleep in a basket at the end of Pegorino's bed. Roman's going to miss me, but it'll be useful.
He gives him an apartment, even pitting Roman and things as the way to keep him bound to him, showing how desperate he was to keep Nico around.
Nico, it's Jimmy. You're doing real well, kid. You're becoming part of the family.
Hey, let's keep this a business relationship. I'd prefer to be a paid employee than a relative.
Ha, sure, Nico. I'm giving you a gift. A nice apartment in Alderney City on Mahesh Avenue. Real classy.
This is a gift, Jimmy? Or a way for you to keep your eye on me?
Don't get cute, kid. It don't suit you. You're staying in Alderney now, just like me and Phil. Don't worry about that cousin of yours. He won't be in no danger sleeping in your Algonquin pad by yourself.
Pegorino himself will have something totally different on his mind after hearing a rumor of Anthony wearing a wire. Before this, we see why that was a way out for him. For one, how he was treated.
Peg. What? Boss! Anthony, will you shut up? In fact, will you fuck off? Go on, get out of here. Don't come back till you get a brain implant or something.
I'm sorry. I'm
nice to see you, Nico.
You too.
I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Come in here.
Along with not willing to be around someone who's been moving on impulse.
Not you as well. Tell me it ain't you as well.
Hey! Fuck!
What are you talking about?
Speak, you bulking piece of shit! I'm done with you. Done with everyone. I'll go, but I ain't going quietly.
Mr. Pegorino, I don't know what you're talking about. I came as quickly as I could.
Fucking Anthony!
What about Anthony?
He was wearing a fucking wire!
That is a problem.
My personal bodyguard wearing a wire! I raised that kid like he was my own! I beat him like he was my own son! When my son killed himself, Anthony became my son. Now this! The world is a cunt!
Pegorino revealing this about his son shows more of the fact his life was something people around him couldn't stand, and the pressure he put on people around him, not really being a nice guy to be around. Not saying he's the full reason of his son committing assholes, but it's not a coincidence the two did things to get away from him. Now worrying about the feds, he breaks down what happened to when we of course see him realizing the sentence could be a thing. He reacts how he does, not accepting things to go that way and willing to do whatever to prevent it.
Where is Anthony?
I heard he's wearing a wire, so I freak out. I call him up. He's such a moron, he leaves his cell phone on, so we speak. After he's gone states, of course. I mean, Jesus. What a chump! He freaks out on the phone, and I put the fear of God in him. I think maybe I've talked him out of it. Then, he has a goddamn heart attack on the phone. I'm thinking problem solved. He's dying right in front of my ears. But The asshole lived, and now he's in the Leftwood Hospital under heavy guard!
Okay, okay.
Of course he's got you on the fucking tape, too!
Of course.
So you'll do this for me.
So you want me to talk to him?
I want you to whack him. And after that, I want you to kill all the other rats I surround myself with.
Okay. Okay, don't worry.
Anthony the Pegorino was someone he somewhat trusted, so with this happening, made him worried everything he did up to this point would be nothing to be proud of. Going to kill him, during him being in a delirium state, we get a good idea of why he decided to give Pegorino up.
Patient's back there, Doc. Look after him.
Can I have some time alone with my patient?
I wanted to stretch my legs anyway.
Boss? Peg, is that you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shit, Nico. You here to see the boss? It's just this way. Wait, isn't the boss in jail? What are you here for? Shit. I didn't have a choice. They were gonna put me away for some hard time. I never thought it'd be me that turned rat.
Hearing how Pegorino looked at him to be his son, to hear what he said, shows us one of Pegorino's problems came back to bite him. We've seen how he acted to his soldiers, which makes it a no-brainer really to why Anthony did what he did. His most trusted ally, Phil, even said how he wouldn't do any more time for him, after doing so years before.
You're working with the wrong people if you expect them to whack you if you go inside. Where's the trust, Phil?
It's about survival. If someone who knew what I knew got flipped, then the whole organization will go down. Whacking someone who catches some heavy time is just an insurance policy. And it don't help that not everyone in the organization is pulling in the same direction.
Anthony on his deathbed even showed he was manipulated by Pegorino, after being heard feeling sorry for turning against him, not wanting to do time for him.
Oh, it looks like I messed something up. Sorry about that, Anthony. Tell Peg. I'm sorry.
Although he's dead, the feds was still the feds, saying that to say he still would have to face them, something he knew as well. But this would only make things worse. In a matter of weeks, being how he moved brought too much heat, whether it was from other families or the police. But after Anthony snitching and not really staying on one thing, the next thing he gets into was looking into his own crew. As we heard earlier, he didn't pay attention to his soldiers, making this encounter show us panic, not being aware. He's even seen while Ray and Phil has a back and forth to be watching them every time they speak. With him on this new problem, this even is a thing for the fact alone this was the only thing he could do to make sure that his power can be shown, something he says to Nico when the two were alone.
You better leave. I need to speak to Nico.
Sure, boss. But, think about what I said.
I will.
You know?
Trust me on that. We got real problems. Police are all over us. Maybe you heard, I got served papers today. Phil yesterday. We got a couple of boys in jail. I think they might squeal. Somebody's talking. Wants us out of the picture. Maybe John Gravelli. Or them Ancelottis. Somebody got to my people.
So what are you going to do about it?
I don't know. I gotta shut someone up and show people I mean business.
Him saying this just shows this was just a thing to do to try and put fear in people. For Pegorino, it really just went down to who he liked more, that being Phil. He only picked Ray, something for another video.
I gotta think about it.
Okay.
I'll give you a call. Whoever I say to go see him. And shut him up!
By the time Nico does what he does to help Pegorino, he even tells him in a way it was for no reason, going to say how things are too clean for him, showing his decision to have Ray killed to not really have a real reason other than taking his frustration out with everything that's been going on, from not getting on the commission to getting snitched on by someone he held close. This was just a cover-up to make it look like he knew what to do.
The meeting went to plan, Mr. Pegorino.
Cleaning house's a tough job, Pelican. I don't got much left in mind, it's so clean. I'll talk to you soon.
Pegorino, realizing he failed his dreams, turned into being content with just being an Alderney outfit. But again, with everything not playing out his way, he had to at least make some money to fight the law. This time around, as we know, things will be different. After Nico finally confronts Starko, something Pegorino didn't have the power to do, something Nico realized in the process, saying that to say he didn't really need him anymore. But Pegorino calls him again in a panic state, getting Nico to meet him for his next impulse-filled move. As we're about to see, he's frantic, seeing how his future can lead into not having nothing, not even wanting to drink before he gets what he needs out. But here, his mind shows.
Nico, good to see you.
And you? How are you?
Fucking terrible. We got legal problems, all kinds of crap. You know how things have gone.
I've heard some things.
You get close to your dream, then something holds you back. No. Well, commission or no commission, I ain't gonna starve. People don't want me around, they don't have to have me. But I know how to earn. I need a favor.
Here we go.
Fuck you! I looked out for you, and I'll pay good, real good. But I need you to do something. I need you to collect that H. I got some Russians who have a buyer.
Russians?
Yeah. Dmitri Rascalov.
No, we've got history.
Nico not wanting to help Pegorino with his deal with Dmitri. We're about to see how Jimmy does everything he can to make him, starting off with him trying to downplay Nico's feelings, something Nico himself rebuttals, not seeing him above him anymore.
I know, but this is real. I need you.
Real? What the fuck is real? Real because it's you?
Real because it's my last chance.
Then good luck.
No.
Peg needing this to happen even brings money into things, but Nico still wouldn't budge. He tries to play it cool, but with realizing it's not convincing him, led him to put his foot down, again trying to assert his power, willing to make Nico his enemy if he doesn't.
I need you to get that H. I need the money. I looked out for you, you know, people wanted to whack you, I said no. Now I need you, and I'll pay a lot of money.
Listen, Mr. Pegorino, I already told you, I got history.
No, you listen, you dumb immigrant fuck. I ain't asking you, I'm telling you, do this. Get over your principles. These guys don't hold grudges. Do it or you and me are gonna have a problem.
Now, although Pegorino isn't known outside of Alderney like that, people didn't say no to him, which is why it would be a problem, on top of him being desperate. Nico giving him his look, he realized he can't really threaten Nico like that, especially with needing him, leading him to sweeten things, leading Nico to take the bait, just to lead a conversation.
Look, Phil will look after you. You won't even have to deal with the fucking Russians. He's waiting for you, down in Tudor.
All right.
I knew I could count on you. Hey, how about that drink?
Peg being thirsty to get a buyer, even after already doing some taking from the Russians earlier, goes to show this was the only thing he could do, not even realizing the possibility of what can happen to him. Dmitri, as we know, ended up ripping him off, but with him getting the money, he overlooked this. He knew how the deal played out, but this gave him something to be prideful about, not even caring about the things he wanted earlier.
Back on top, Nico. The Pegorinos is still somebody. Phil's bringing me my taste of the cash, and Dimitri still got hold of the horse. This is perfect!
I hope your partnership is a fruitful one. Good luck, and goodbye.
You've been a useful set of hands. Look after yourself.
Nico and Peg would be on good terms doing this, after of course doing what he needed. Instead of cutting ties with Dmitri as well though, for the fact alone he was trying to build his own thing in Alderney, led him to even give up Nico for Dmitri. Little Jacob even brung up the two thinking Nico was killed, showing a betrayal, along with him knowing what they think they were after things going right for him.
Dmitri and Pegorino, let me on top after that deal, you know. You got the Kyle, the Brown, didn't they? Rascal, I think them and the dance have dance. There ain't no way those boys gonna be scared of some boys like I following their boy, you know. Also, they ain't going to know their boy at the wedding didn't do his job properly. They think you're dead enough.
Going to confront the two though, the end of Pegorino was seen. For Pegorino, this was his redemption and something he can be proud of. But for Dmitri, he was the easiest guy to betray, Some old guy who was desperate after still wanting power and money, and that can be the end.
What's the problem? Me and you's partners now. We're back on top.
I didn't work this hard to share the spoils of a victory.
Goodbye.
But Nico not helping him to his death. After being thirsty, Pegorino had nothing. No money, Phil disappeared, at least without snitching, and most importantly, no connections after all the bridges he burnt. Not blaming himself, of course, though. Nico not helping made him angry. Even going to call Nico asking why he couldn't swallow his pride. Ironically, his own problem.
You're a snake! You turned around and bit the hand that fed you! How hard would it have been to suck up your pride into one deal? Now I got nothing left to lose!
Hey, I'm sorry things didn't work out. Goodbye.
Pegorino not having anything else to do but try and get Nico killed after he made it so easy for things to crash. After he was the only person keeping things afloat, he makes it happen. Before this, he sent people to do things, including Nico. But this being personal, after his last name means nothing now, and what things in his mind could have been, although we know what it is, his impulse and self-perception made him want to do it personally. And if you want something done, you do it yourself. And he still couldn't do it right. Off again impulse decisions, hitting someone innocent. Right after, with him being a target with so many people, he relocates, of course, going from his home to an abandoned casino, all because of pride and wanting to be. Something Nico even called out on the way to kill him.
He's been running around town like a headless chicken in a rasta, picking up shit. Him desperate.
There's nowhere left for these guys to go. The whole city wants them dead now.
Well, I guess I'll be doing the whole city a favor when I kill Pegorino then. The fool thought he could be a big player.
This man will lead us there. We'll get him, cousin, I assure you.
When the two came face to face, Pegorino would then say to Nico how he basically was forced to do what he did after not seeing what he thought could help him, along with trying to show he's still something, whether if that was toward Nico or what he says to his soldiers, all the way down to his last moments.
You motherfucker! Don't think for a second that this was anyone's fault but your own! You could have worked with me and everything would have been gravy!
I wanted out, and you killed someone I cared about. It's over for you now, Jimmy.
Motherfucker! I'll give 50 G's to the man that drops this fuck! Don't think I don't know how to fight! I still got something left!
Him dying here shows the only thing he had left was his pride. Comparing his death to Dimitri's in the same spot even is symbolic. Dimitri was on his knees, his last words not even being English, along with hearing his groans. While Pegorino feels the same pain, but he's about to be seen actively talking with a gun in his hand, sitting in one spot, groaning as well from the pain, but with anger, not begging or even acknowledging Nico has him scared, although he knows it's the end.
I told you to leave me alone.
I give the orders here. Me!
You're not looking so good there, Jimmy.
Screw you.
What the fuck did she ever do to you?
I wanted you immigrant dipshit.
Big talk. You wanna know something funny?
Not really.
Before his death, Nico finally revealed to Pegorino his perception regarding what he strived for in the beginning, something at this point he knew, but still didn't let Nico give him the opportunity to let him see it or accept it.
The commission, the old families, I know some of those guys. And they thought you were a fat fucking joke.
Whatever.
A joke!
And Pegorino didn't want to either. But only having his pride left and reality kicking in for him that he's going to die, he was taking Nico with him. Jimmy's last name meant everything to him, but at a point he wanted the Pegorinos to mean everything to everyone. But with his impulse decisions stemming from panicking to get where he seen himself, whether if that was staying on the streets to making money, he made it impossible. leading everything he at least had to be stripped from him, from his friendships to his life. But one thing he kept and held close throughout his desperate measures, even up until his death, was his pride.